things are starting to crank up a little bit over in the European qualifiers for the old World Cup out in Qatar as Turkey make it 2 wins for 2. And what the heck went wrong with Ireland? We'll take a little look next. Right, folks, back with another prediction show today. We take a look at match number 3, part 1 for the old European qualifiers for the old World Cup out in Qatar. We'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, hit bang everything. All things Blackburn Rovers related, World Cup qualifiers related, and the World Cup itself related. We're going to know here under one roofski. That's right, goodness gracious me. To be Irish right about now would not be a good thing, of course. After 2 match days in the old World Cup qualifying, their World Cup qualifying hopes and dreams are hanging by a thread already. Goodness gracious me. You would think they would actually dispose of Luxembourg, but of course, unfortunately, they did not. We'll take a look at that in just a second, of course. A big shout out to the VIP Banner Brothers. Support the channel behind the scenes. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for your continued support. But anyway, and if anyone else wants to join those illustrious band of men and women, check out the link down below. But anyway, we are going to go right here into the World Cup qualifying vortex as we take a little look back at match day number 2. Part 1, right? That's right. So here we go, boys. Let's get into it. These are my picks, of course, and we're going to reveal your picks alongside that. Then, aren't we? Aren't we going to bring on the graphic? Can you bring on the old Google flip? We will, of course. There it is. And I think it's a bit too close to the money. Let's move that over right about. Yeah, we can do it behind my head. There we go, boys. There we go. Perfectly fit right there. So let's take a look at, of course, Ireland against Luxembourg. Did anybody pick this one? I don't think they did. I actually remember the 3-0 win for Ireland in the end. It was actually a 1-0 win for Ireland. One of the goal was, of course, Gerson Rodriguez. As for you guys, 89% win with Ireland. Of course, you should really. And 11% with the draw. Unfortunately, you got it wrong. Everybody got it wrong. Absolutely everybody got it wrong. Of course, Luxembourg coming out on top with the W on this one. Next up was Serbia against Portugal. End up as a 2-2 draw. I went with a 1-1 draw myself. Diego Jota with a couple of goals there. Alexander Mitrovic and Filip Kostic on score sheet for Serbia. Nikola Milenkovic got himself sent off in a 2-2. Actually, I remember the 1-1, so I'm not too happy, not too bad with that one. Of course, the vast majority of us went with Portugal, and of course, a lot of 17% went with, of course, Serbia, and just 18%, not including myself, but with me, I got it bang on the nose with the draw. Next to Belarus in a 6-goal thriller over Estonia, 4-2 in the end. Goals coming in from Viktor Leškević from the penalty spot. He actually got a couple of goals there. Juri Kendish, Pavel Shavievsky as well on score sheet for, of course, Belarus. Henry Anya. A couple of goals with Karl Rundov Ungis got himself sent off. Actually, the 1-0 win for Belarus, but it was a 4-2 win in the end. The vast majority of us, 65% got it right with Belarus, of course. 11% went with Estonia, 23% went with a draw. Guess what? You guys got it wrong. Meanwhile, the Czechs against Belgium ended up 1-1 in the end. A little bit of a boost there for morale-wise for the Czechs. Lucas Prodvod on the score sheet, of course. Romelu Lukaku for the 60th minute, giving Belgium a share of the spoils. Actually, I went with the 3-1 for Belgium, and I was wrong. As for the majority, you guys were vast majority of us were wrong. 91% went with Belgium. Of course, 8% went with the draw. They'll be happy. They'll be singing into their cups of coffee this morning or in the evening, wherever you are in the world. Of course, Montenegro against Gibraltar ended up as a 4-1 win for Montenegro. Goals from Fastos Bekri, Marko Simic, Zarko Tomasevic, and Steven Jurtovic on score. Of course, Ristechi with a penalty, giving Gibraltar a little bit of hope, but they were always going to lose this game. Of course, Montenegro, of course, fancied here 93% of the time. 2% have actually went with Gibraltar, and of course another 2% went, of course, with the draw. What were they thinking? The Turkish boys are on their way. Oslan Turfan 2 for 2 for them. Kalia Sochu as well, giving Turkey a 3-0 over the golden generation of Norway, who of course flatter to deceive. Now, I've just done some videos this weekend talking about Norway and their hopes and dreams and everything like that. They're not out yet. They'll be out over the course of the summer. But I feel that they're screwing this up. The people over, the managers of Norway, they're screwing it up. They've got a whole plethora of really good players, and now they're screwed. They've already started to. They're giving up their chance to get to the World Cup out in Qatar. They don't. It is a short space of time, this qualifying campaign, because it is so congested, and already Norway, just like Ireland, are on the bloody ropes. But a good win for Turkey makes them look very, very good indeed. The vast majority of us went with a draw. 18 folks went with Turkey. Turkey. 25 went with Norway. Guess what? Those 18 folks were smiling. Meanwhile, Netherlands did get back to winning ways with a 2-0 win over, of course, Latvia. Not that impressive, but guess what? They just got the win, which, of course, is important for them. Just trying to find the goal scorers. Of course, Steven Berghuis, Luc de Jong on the score sheet for, of course, the Dutchies as they bounce back. Of course, I went with a 3-0 win. 100% went with the Dutch, of course, and 100% were right. Meanwhile, the Russians also continued, I think, a good start for them as well. The goal scorers for them, Atam Zugba with a couple of goals there. Joseph Ilic on the score sheet for Slovenia in a 2-1 win for the Rushkies. Of course, 68% went with Russia, 9% went with Slovenia, 22% went with the draw, and they were wrong as well. Croatia also nicked one past, just the one, past Cyprus. Of course, Mario Paslic on score sheet, giving them the win, 3-0 for me. And again, 91% went with Croatia. Again, it was only just, and as the rest of you guys got it wrong. Meanwhile, Slovakia against Malta was a 2-2 draw. Actually, with the 2-1 win myself. Goal scorers on the day. Do we have them? Do we have them? I'm sure we do. They're buried in here somewhere. Yeah, there we are, Slovakia. David Strelec, Milan Skriniar, giving them a couple of late goals there to give them the show the scores. Luke Gambin, Alexander Santorino on the score sheet, of course, for Malta. Got it wrong myself. Again, the vast majority of us went with Slovakia, and the vast majority of us got it all wrong. Well, that's just my picks, and of course, that's with the recap of the scores. Let's take a look at your scores then, shall we? Of course, here we bloody go. In fact, this is the leaderboard right here, right now. Of course, if your name's in there, this is just for this match day itself. Look at Shane O'Donnell all the way down in 47%. That's what 47th position, of course. Caleb Duckworth's up there with 5 this past time around. I'm Stringers there as well, alongside Shepard as well with 5. Into the top 5 we go though. Mbappe 98's up there with 6. Noah C's up there as well. Of course, Jacob Scroose as well with 6. But your kingpins is Vigo Vitaminen. He got himself 7. White Star got himself 7 as well. And Jan, of course, familiar name to the channel, of course, with 6 points. Of course, the vast majority is also getting a bronze medal. But unfortunately, it doesn't really count for much because there's nothing to claim because it is only just a match day. This is the overall leaderboard that you want to be charging right here, right now, and I believe this is right. We are still playing around with the setup. But your kingpins, of course, heading into the top 50. Here we go. Tom Stainer's in 49th place. 39 is Football Calcio. Cody goes in there to 24th. Of course, Nicholas Merkers is in 9th. Jonathan Lew's also 9th. Ivan Stringer's up there as well. Caleb Duckworth's up there with 21. Gaming Charlie's got 22. Costas K's up there with 23. But your kingpins is Master Fighter 25. Stephen Gilead also 25. Alex Well with 24. Hans Worst with 24. Look at that. That is your kingpins right here, right now. Hopefully, it is all working out. Now, there is a little bit of a teething problem. Some people are entering their names twice into the thing. It does slow me down a little bit, so I do appreciate it. If you're going to enter your name twice, maybe put a number 2 next to your name or a number 3 or something like that, because it just slows me down and I have to go in and manually delete those because it just confuses everything else. So please, if you do that, I really, really would appreciate it. Okay, now before we jump in the deep end and take a little look at those next round of matches, just take a look at the situation out in the tables. Of course, at the tip of the top here, we've got Group A. Of course, Serbia lead the charge over that group. Over Portugal on goal difference for the time being. Of course, Ireland have got it all to do. Of course, bottom of the pops there, 2 for 2. Meanwhile, if we go drop down to around about Group E, of course, a lot of these have only just played the once. But Group E, Czechs lead the charge there at the moment over Belgium. Of course, 4 points on the board for them so far. Well, of course, Wales, just the 1. Of course, it's defeat against Belgians, but it's still early days. Dropping down now to Group G. It is 2 for 2 for Turkey and 2 for 2 for Montenegro. As, of course, they lead the charge over in Group G. The Dutchies and the Norwegians have really got a hard work to do. But realistically, when you look at this is probably going to be in a very difficult group. Of course, Turkey looking good, the Dutchies as well. And we are expecting Norway to dig their heels in here. And so far, so good. They have a win, but again, the defeat to Turkey has had them scrambling. Of course, over in Group H, sees Russia lead the charge, 6 points out of 6. Slovenia and Croatia also in the hunt there, and Slovakia as well in the Eastern Bloc bad boy here. And of course, the rest of the groups will take place today, I believe. Of course, let's get in the deep end then. And take a little look back at the new sound of matches, of course, coming to you starting tomorrow. Kicking off with, of course, Azerbaijan, taking, of course, Serbia. Now, these two sides played each other 5 times over the years, with, of course, Azerbaijan winning just the once, of course, Serbia winning 3 times, and then there's been 1 draw. Of course, last time around in Azerbaijan was a 6-1 win for Serbia, back in, of course, October 2007. Dukso Tosic and, of course, Nikola Zigic as well, with a couple of goals there. Boxko Jakovic and, of course, Milan Djokovic, Danko Lazovic. All the itches on the score sheet there, giving Serbia the bloody win. Of course, heading into this Serbia, unbeaten in the last 3, picking up 2 wins and a draw to boot. That draw was against Portugal just the other day, and a big result for them as well. As for Azerbaijan, they come to this just one defeat the past 5 for them. That one defeat was against Portugal in match day number 1 for them. Of course, Azerbaijan sitting 4th in the group. Serbia are top. As for the bookies odds on this one, we're going to go Azerbaijan 9-1 for the victory, 3-1 on is your Serbia, 50-4 is the bloody draw. For me, I'm going to go with, of course, a 2-0 win for Serbia. And again, if you're gonna get your picks in, of course, the link to the prediction league is at the top of the screen there. It also should be in the old description down below. So if you want to get your name in your predictions, you must go to those Google forms to get your names in. Again, if possible, only put your name in once. If you're going to put your name in twice, make it just different, because otherwise it makes a whole hinky kind of system, and I have to do a lot of extra work. Kicking on forward, of course, Luxembourg buoyed on from that win against Ireland. Can they make it 2 for 2? Probably not. They played Luxembourg over the last 6 occasions. It's been 6 wins out of 6 for Portugal, including a last win for Portugal last round in Luxembourg back in, of course, November 2019. Bruno Fernandes on the score sheet, Cristiano Ronaldo as well back in, of course, November 2019. That was in the Euros qualifying campaign. Of course, when you look at those recent scorelines against Portugal, there's not many embarrassing defeats these days. You've got to give credit to Luxembourg for digging their heels and maybe investing in their football, bringing in some, like Scotland are doing, like Wales are doing, like Ireland are doing, trying to find people that have got connections or family ties to Luxembourg to change the face of Luxembourg football. Of course, they're still the underdogs, and they will be, but it is starting to show some vast improvement. But unfortunately, I don't think they'll get to another bit of lady luck against the Portuguese. Portugal have actually won the last 10 matches against Luxembourg in all competitions, also keeping a clean sheet in 9 of the last 10 matches as well. They've also scored at least 2 goals in the last 10 matches against Luxembourg, so they fancy the chances. Coming into this, though, the Portuguese just one defeat the past 6. That one defeat was against France back in November, of course, but they're coming into this so far so good for the World Cup qualifying, of course, unbeaten, picking up a win against Azerbaijan, but that draw against Serbia was a little bit frustrating, even for the likes of Ronaldo. As for Luxembourg, back-to-back games without a defeat, picking up a draw against Azerbaijan and picking up a win against Ireland, and yet to concede a goal in World Cup qualifying for 2. That's pretty good. As for this, though, bookies odds on this one, Luxembourg coming at you at 80-1 for the victory, 81 on is your, of course, Portugal 7-1 is the draw. For me, going to go with, of course, Luxembourg to lose this one 3-0 in the end for Portugal, and again, Portugal with the 3 points to move a little closer to the tip of the top. Next up, of course, we have Belgium against Belarus in the Battle of the Bees. Of course, they've never played each other in the past. They'll play the first occasion. Of course, Belgium come into this second, Belarus come into this first, of course, winning their first game. As for the Belgians, they come into this winning 5 of the past 6 games. Their only hiccup was a draw against the Czechs just the other day. As for Belarus, winning 3 of the past 5, beating the likes of Kazakhstan, Lithuania, and of course Estonia, but those games were at home. As for the away matches, back-to-back defeats on the road, losing to Romania and also losing to Albania in quick succession. Of course, heading into this, though, Belgium undefeated in 17 last night, 18 matches in the FIFA World Cup qualifying. As for Belarus, they were conceded at least 2 goals in the last 4 matches. So look at the bookies odds. I'm sure Belgium will be stone cold favourites on this one. Going to go with 25-1 on for Belgium. Of course, 14-1 is your draw, 31 is your long shots. That's the Belarus. I think the Belgians will win this one again comfortably, 3-0, maybe even 5-0. You just don't know. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win. And again, get your picks in using the old link at the top of the screen and also in the description. Next up, we have the Welsh, who did just beat Mexico. Of course, we'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, they're taking on the Czech Republic, of course, on Tuesday, the 30th of March. Is that right? Did I say the 29th? These are the 30th of March. This is match day number 3.1. Of course, they played the Czechs 3 times over the recent years. Of course, 1 win for the Czechs, 2 draws. Of course, last round in Wales was a 0-0 draw. In fact, the last 2 times these 2 sides have played each other in Wales, it's ended up as a 0-0 draw. Heading into this, though, the Czechs come into this unbeaten in the last 4, beginning out 3 wins and a draw to boot. That draw was against Belgium. It was a big result for them for the grand scheme of things. As for the Welsh, of course, coming into this on the back of a defeat to Belgium, 3-1 loss on opening day, but they did respond with a friendly win over Mexico, even though they were not that great. I don't think they were that great. Of course, bookies odds on this one. We have, what do we have on this? We have the Czechs. Wales 2-1 for the victory, 7-5 is your Czech Republic, 11-5 is your draw. I think this is a difficult one, this one. It's not going to be a plain sailing victory, but I've given it to the Welsh, though, with a 2-1 win, but it might end up with a draw. The Czechs have got the tails up, and I think they fancy the chances to be a bit of a party pooper out in this group. 2-1 win, though, for the Welsh. But if you're a betting man, I wouldn't touch this one, because this is very too close to call. Next up, though, we have, of course, Gibraltar. Taking, of course, the Dutchies, of course, playing for the first time as well. Of course, the Dutchies sit in 3rd, Gibraltar sit in 6th. Of course, heading into this, the Dutchies have just lost once in the past 6 games. That one defeat was against Turkey. 6-goal thriller was in match day number 1. Of course, losing 4-2 in the end. Besides all that, they've come into this 3 wins in the past 4 games, beat the likes of Bosnia, Poland, and of course Latvia on their way to today. As for the Gibraltars, coming to this back-to-back defeats, losing to Norway and Montenegro in, of course, the first couple of games in the World Cup qualifying. Gibraltar, though, actually lost the last 12 matches in the World Cup. They also conceded at least 2 goals in the last 12. As for the bookies odds, stone cold favourites, it'll be Gibraltar 50-1 for the victory. 100-1 on is your Netherlands. Of course, 22-1 is the draw. Of course, Netherlands will smash them. They'll probably put 5 past them, and we might even see a bit of a flurry as well. Of course, 5-0 win for the Dutchies in the end. Next up, we have Montenegro taking across Norway. Pictured a couple of times over the years. It's been 1 for Montenegro, 1 for Norway. No draws last time around, though. In Montenegro was a 3-1 win for Montenegro in a friendly back in, of course, March 2008. Igor Brozovic on the score sheet, of course, Branko Boskovic and Radomir Jakovic as well. With John Carew. Was he a rover? I don't think he was a rover. I think we wanted to get him, but I think he went to Villa. Milan Djokovic on the score sheet got himself sent off. Heading into this, though, Montenegro winning 3 on the spin, beating the likes of Cyprus, Latvia, and, of course, Gibraltar in quick succession. As for Norway, just 1 win the past 4 games, and then that one was against Gibraltar. And, of course, coming into the back of this on the defeat to Turkey. Of course, Montenegro have actually scored these 2 goals in the last 3 matches in the FIFA World Cup qualifying, and I fancy the chances to kind of get something out of Norway. Bookies odds on this one, 10-3 for Montenegro, 5-4 on is your Norway, 5-2 is your draw. Must-win game, I think, already for Norway, and I think they will get it with a 2-0 win on the road. Next up we have Turkey up against Latvia. Of course, Turkey have been pretty much spectacular so far, but they can't afford any more hit. They can't afford a hiccup like this one. I don't anticipate it, of course. However, the recent form between the two sides over the last 5 games against each other, nothing for Turkey, 1 win for Latvia, 4 draws, of course, including a 1-1 draw back in, of course, September 2015. Goal scorer on that day, Serge Inan on the score sheet, of course, Valerius Saliba on the score sheet, of course, Latvia back in, of course, 2015 in the Euros qualifying. Of course, Turkey have actually drawn their last 4 matches against Latvia in all comps, whereas Latvia actually lost 9 last 11 matches in the World Cup qualifying as well. Turkey, though, scoring at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches as well. Coming into this, just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Turkey. That was against Hungary in the Nations League, 2-0 loss on the road. As for Latvia, they come to this on the back of 2 defeats in a row, losing to, of course, Montenegro and, of course, the Dutchies to make it 2-2 in the defeat column. As for Turkey, though, 2-2 in the win. They sit proudly at the top of course, Group G. Let's take a look at the odds on this one. Of course, Turkey 10-1 on for the victory, 81 is your draw, 20-1 is your Latvia. Of course, long shots. Of course, Latvia should lose this one, 4-0 in the end, giving it to Turkey, going big on them. Next up, we have Croatia against Malta. Let's get into this. Of course, played to the last 6, 5 for Croatia, nothing for Malta, and of course, 1 draw last round. In Croatia was, of course, back in September 2014, it was a 2-0 win for Croatia. Modric on the score sheet, Angel Kadamic as well. Stephen Borg got himself sent off. Of course, heading into this, though, Malta failing to win their last 16 matches in the FIFA World Cup qualifying. Also, Croatia actually won for their last 4 matches against Malta in all comps. Heading into this, though, Croatia just 1 win the past 6 games. That one was against Cyprus, and it was only by a 1-goal victory. As for Malta, just 1 defeat, though, in the past 6 games. That 1 defeat was against Russia, of course, in match number 1. And it's been so far okay for Malta, picking up an away day point against Slovakia last time around, but Croatia played 2, 1-1, lost 1, of course. So they'll need to turn themselves around. It's not as easy, of course. I need something to convince me that Croatia mean business. Of course, bookies odds on this one, they'll go with Croatia, 20-1 on for the victory, 11-1 is your draw, 28-1 is your Malta. But there is going to be a surprise in this fixture list. There is going to be a surprise, whether it is Luxembourg scamming something out of Portugal, or whether it is Malta grabbing something freaky against Croatia, or maybe, dare I say, it's Latvia pulling the rug under the feet of Turkey. I don't know. There's going to be a surprise. I can feel it. But unfortunately, I'm going to go with Croatia with a 2-0 win on this one. Next up, of course, Slovakia taking, of course, Russia, of course, over in Group H. Played 6 of the last recent times. Of course, 2 was for Slovakia, 2 was for Russia, and 2 draws. Last round in Slovakia was a 1-0 win for Russia back in, of course, October 2011 in the Euro qualifying back in the day. Alan Zegov back in the day to give the win for Russia. Of course, heading into this, though, Slovakia just 1 win in the past 5 games. That one was against Scotland in Slovakia. Meanwhile, back-to-back wins for Russia have them believing, beating Malta and, of course, Slovenia in quick succession to see them go top of the pops out in Group H. Of course, Slovakia 2 draws out of 2 for them. Unbeaten, though. Of course, heading into this 50-4 first course, Slovakia 11-5 is your draw, 2017 on is your Russia. Of course, Russia should get this one. At least a point anyway. I've gone with a 1-1 draw in the end. Cyprus, though, taking, of course, Slovenia in the final one here over in Group H. Played to the last 6. 1 for Cyprus, 3 for Slovenia, 2 draws. Last round in Cyprus, though, was a 2-1 win for Cyprus back in, of course, September 2018. Pirios Sartoru and a Pecha Stankovic with a big for OG, giving Cyprus the win. Robert Bedic getting the goal for Slovenia, though. Cyprus, though, failing to score in the last 3 matches in the FIFA World Cup. They also failed to win their last 5 matches as well. Heading into this, though, just 1 win the past 6 games for them in recent times. Of course, that one was against Luxembourg. As for Slovenia, 1 defeat the past 6. That 1 defeat was against Russia in match day number 2 for them. Oh, of course, Slovenia sit in second at the moment. 1 win, 1 defeat. As for Cyprus, it's been just the 1 point for them to start their campaign. As for the bookies odds, Cyprus 92 for the victory, 11-4 is your draw. Of course, 13-8 on is your Slovenia. Of course, Slovenia will lose this. I'm going to give it to Cyprus. Is that the surprise package that we're going to see? We just don't know. And as I said again at the start and in the middle and quite a few times, if you want to get your picks in, go to the old website that is at the top of the screen there, also in the old description down below. And of course, see if you can compete with the big boys over in the prediction league. But that, my friends, is pretty much it. And if you've got a little bit of difficulty and you're on a big screen, you can take a picture with your camera on your phone with the old QR code, and that'll send you right there, boys. It will send you right there. Boy, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. I'm all over it. I do appreciate your continued support with the New Look Prediction League. Of course, we cannot go full board with it with the current season because a lot of people already, you know, it's just a bit too. I'd rather we do it because it made it a lot easier for me. But we're just gonna plough through the hard way to the end of the season, and then we'll go full board with this as we continue to play around with it, though. But anyway, that's it, my boys and girls. That is it. Where are you, Keith? Where are you, Keith? Well, I'm here, boys. I'm here. Of course, thanks again for watching. Of course, be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out the links down below. Of course, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, and of course, I'm on Twitch as well as Patreon if you want to support the channel in another way. Also, remember, your picks in the old description. There's a link there. Head over there to get your picks in, of course, to get in for the next time around. Of course, next time around for these ones, we will go and review these. Well, we won't be reviewing these. We won't be reviewing them until the international break, of course. So, we'll let you know how it all goes then. Until then, though, make sure you give the video some love and smash the thumbs up, smash subscribe. I'll see you all next time for some more World Cup qualifiers.